we're gonna get ready to rock your progressive overload, dumbbell, Physioball, and door anchor resistance band strength workout. This is all about increasing our weights, which not only helps us improve muscle mass, improve confidence, but it also helps build bone strength, increase your metabolism, and make you feel like all your work is coming together. Okay, so couple important notes. If you don't have a Physioball, modifications will be provided. I have a group of 6 exercises that start off at 60 seconds on. That's going to be with your normal weight. Then the goal is we reduce the amount of time, 50, 40, and 40. So we reduce the number of repetitions, aiming for 8 repetitions with an increase in weight. You're going to hear a tone. Make sure you pause here if you didn't get your personalized warm-up in. This prevents pain and injury, as especially becomes important when we're increasing our weight and challenging our body. Okay, so our first exercise is our shoulder exercise. We're going to be doing a lateral lunge to scaption. We're stepping out to the side, lining up those toes, knees, and hips for that lateral lunge, up to balance or more stably on those toes, bringing those dumbbells out in front into that wide V. Come with me. We have 60 seconds for our first round. Remember, we are standing long and tall, chin tucked, head back. We're aiming to complete 10 to 12 repetitions. This is kind of like a warm-up round, but it's with our normal amount of weight. All right, so our muscles are going to get nice and warm here. We want to get all of those muscle fibers engaged, okay? Because once we start lifting heavier, we're going to dig deeper into those muscle fibers. And so we have to get them nice and warm so they're ready to do that. Now, I'm alternating side to side, but if you've been doing the same side, make sure you switch here. Keep count. We're aiming for that 10 to 12 repetitions for our warm-up. We're stacking those toes, knees, and hips, squeezing those glutes to catch into balance. As we come into that scaption, we're in front of that body. Slight bend in those elbows. We're not swinging. 20-second rest. Now, our door anchor is anchored between chest or hip and shoulder height here. You're going to pick your normal weight, and we're going to walk away from that resistance band, that anchor point, while we're facing it. We're going to go into a little bit of a squat here. Chest up tall, shoulders down and back, and we're going to pull to the base of those ribs. Nice, slow, and controlled. Now, if you don't have a door anchor, you can use a very stable pull, post, or heavy piece of a workout equipment like a power rack. It's really important here. You'll notice, I'm going to try to turn to the side. I roll my shoulders down and back so my chest is tall, neutral in my spine, meaning I have a small arch in my low back. I have a gentle pull in on my belly button. I pull to the base of those ribs. When my arms stop, I stop pulling. I'm not getting that big squeeze on my shoulder blades, and I'm not pulling till I touch so that my shoulders roll forward. That reaches your chin forward. It causes a lot of bad shoulder habits that aren't working the musculature that we think they are, which leads to more pain and stress in the upper back and neck area. So this is our back exercise here. 20-second breather. We're going to go to legs. So get your weight that you normally use to challenge your legs. We're going to come inside that resistance band so that it's at our waist. And we're going to step forward with that anchor behind us for a rear banded static lunge. We come forward into that resistance. Step 1 foot back so all 5 toes are pushing into the floor. And we're going down, bending that back knee straight down towards the ground. Now with that rear banded resistance, we're pushing the hips forward and squeezing the glutes. Nice, slow, control down. I go deep into my lunges, but I have a deep range of motion, okay? It is normal to not go that deep, and we should all be going only as deep as we can that is pain-free and pattern-free. So what I don't want to see is you leaning into that side or having our knee pull forward and go in. It's a nice, slow, controlled movement, only going as deep as you can. And falling over. 10 seconds rest. So hopefully having those feet hip width apart helps prevent you from falling over. Nice and controlled here. Perfect. Our next exercise is going to be that Physioball chest press. So we're going to start off sitting on the ball with the dumbbells on our hips, palms facing. To start, we walk those feet out so our head and shoulders are supported. Our palms then face the legs. My hips are up with my glutes tight. And all I'm doing is pressing those dumbbells up in front of me. Nice, slow, controlled down. Exhale as you press up and squeeze. My dumbbells are coming down in the middle of my chest so that my wrists stay stacked over top of my elbows. And we don't want it up high across the top of that chest because that puts our shoulders in a very prone position. So my elbows are only about 45 degrees from my body. If you don't have a Physioball, that's fine. You can come down onto the floor. It's the same movement. The only difference is you don't get all that core activation. All right, your core is supported, but this is a very nice, safe place to perform a chest press, or you could even use a bench. 7 seconds left. Aim for those 10 to 12 repetitions. Feeling those muscles get nice and toasty. Beautiful. Now here's a fun game. Which leg did you do forward for that rear banded static lunge? We're going to switch sides. All right. So really important to be clued in. I'm putting my right leg forward for this round. Here we go. Out into that resistance. Dumbbells are going to be the same as they were for that first leg. Whoop. Feet hip width apart, toes straight ahead. Sit down into that leg. Big squeeze on those glutes into that resistance band. We're always exhaling as we push into the dumbbells or push into the floor, lifting ourselves up. The down should be nice and controlled, keeping that knee in line with the toes and hips. Again, not sitting into it so that the knee pulls in. I'm going to try to come forward here so you can kind of see that, where my knee kind of sits in that way, or my back knee goes in. All right, we want to stay in good alignment, have everything supported. My chin is tucked and my head is back, but you can also see that I get a little bit of an incline. All right, my chest angle matches my shin angle. Our final exercise is our recovery, called a quadruped T-dog. 60 seconds for all of those rounds. We're going to take a small ball if you have one. It's going to go to that low back. On our hands and knees, neutral spine, gentle pulling on the belly button. Our feet are flexed, so we push back through those toes. We lift opposite arm, opposite leg. Now one arm is going up, thumb up towards the ceiling, and slightly out to the side. All right, so about 30 degrees in front of the body again, just like that scaption. We're lifting our opposite leg, squeezing the bum. Notice I am not going up as high as I can and arching my back. Okay, I'm reaching long. I'm supporting my spine, gently pulling in on my belly button. That is actually the most important part of this exercise. I'm also not shifting side to side. I push back through my toes so that my body stays nice and neutral. I'm going to engage those hips. 10 seconds. And round number 1 is complete. Awesome work. Nice and controlled here. Beautiful. Deep breath. You have a 30-second breather. Now we're reducing that time down to 50 seconds. We're going to try to increase those weights. So lateral lunge scaption, whatever you did on that first round, shoulders are harder to progress. So we want to only increase by a small percentage here of that total weight, okay? And at no point should we be swinging our weights or feeling an increase in strain in that upper back and neck. All right, here we go. 50 seconds, aiming for 8 repetitions. If you feel like balance is a challenge here, tap those toes down or come to a complete stand. All right, most important is as weights increase, We are not swinging those weights. That works a different part of the muscle, all right? We want to make sure the chin isn't pulling forward and we're not using that upper back and neck. I am exaggerating, guys, so that you can see those movement patterns a little bit more. We want to stay nice and long and tall through the crown of that head. Very important to keeping those shoulders relaxed down. Beautiful work. If you progressed and stuck with it, awesome. If you didn't, don't feel bad about it. All right, we're going to that squat banded row. Increase that weight either to a bigger band or add a small band on top of the other band. There's lots of ways to progress and build up. Facing that anchor point, chest up tall, roll those shoulders down and back. Big pull and squeeze. We stop where those arms stop. I'm going to turn so you can see my back. And what you're going to see is my back gets wide as I bend those arms and pull closer. My arms are about 30 to 45 degrees from my body. That's where I get the most lat activation. My chin stays tucked and my head stays back, and I keep that nice neutral spine. Exhale as I pull, inhale as I release. You control those bands. 7 seconds. Feel empowered and confident as you push yourself to increase that weight. Rear banded static lunge. Remember, increasing that weight just a little bit. So if you were lifting 12 and a half, maybe you're gonna now aim for 15, or you can increase the weight on that resistance band. All right, band at those hips, coming out with that resistance coming behind us. Here we go, bending that back knee, big push forward and squeeze on those glutes. The resistance band is great to increase here. It increases glute activation, especially if you don't have heavier weights at home. Nice control down. Exhale, push up and squeeze. We want to make sure that as we increase that weight and we aim for those 8 repetitions, that we're not compensating, all right? We don't want to not be going deep as we were with the lighter weights. We shouldn't have an increase in pain. 5 seconds. Awesome work. All right. Getting ready for either that floor or that Physioball chest press, that little bit an increase in weight. You might find that when you do upper body, you don't increase as fast as you can increase with legs. Our legs are bigger muscles. 2 seconds. Exhale as you push up. This is another one where we want to make sure that we don't have any pain through our low back. We're only going as deep as we can with no pain. We don't want those elbows pointing out and the forearms falling in. I'm going to change my angle. So I don't want those weights here. I want them out. We can tend to go either less or we fall in as those dumbbells get heavier. Instead, we want to keep the wrists stacked over those elbows. Glutes tight, belly button in. Under 10 seconds. Feeling that chest work, that core engage. Even the shoulders and the back of the arms. Push that ball off to the side. We're going back to the rear banded static lunge, opposite leg. Big deep breath, guys. 5 seconds. Shake out those arms and hands. All right. Bend those knees. Big push up and squeeze. Remember, our feet are hip width apart. This should feel like all 5 toes are pushing into the floor. If you have a mirror, or if you're doing the video, go ahead and turn your video on, all right, using your camera setting if you have one, on your computer, on your phone, and you can use that as a mirror. All right, your heels should be stacked over those toes, and it should almost look like a one-legged squat where your back leg is kind of like a kickstand. All right, guys, we're down to 10 seconds. before we go to that quadruped T-dog. Chin tucked, head back. We're not carrying that load in that upper back and neck area. All right, that's what happens when we pull that chin forward. Grab your ball, put those dumbbells back. All right, here we go, on those hands and knees, and this can be on a mat. Nice neutral spine with that ball on that low back. Get yourself ready. Push back through those toes so those feet are flexed. This is a nice slow and controlled movement. Remember, this is your recovery exercise. It's not meant to be very strenuous, but it is actually very, very, very important for your progression. As we increase weights, our core and stabilizing muscles must be strong enough to support more muscle, right? To lift heavier weights, if our stabilizing and our core muscles aren't strong enough, this is a recipe for injury or pain. So by always challenging our core and keeping it fresh, 10 seconds, because remember, this exercise is not going down in time. We want endurance on our core muscles. Beautiful work. 30-second breather. Reassess. How is your body feeling? How is your form in that second round with that increase in weight? Now, should you keep the weight the same at that increase? Or should you increase just a little bit more? That's entirely up to you. Get those weights ready. We're going back to that lateral lunge with that scaption in 5. 40 seconds for our third round. Here we go. Out to the side, stacking toes, knees, hips, either kickstand or neutral or balance. And remember, if you do not increase weights here, that is totally normal and fine. Our shoulders are a lot smaller of a muscle group. They progress much more slowly than our legs, chest, and back. You might not be ready yet to increase those dumbbells for a simple shoulder movement like this, okay? And by simple, I mean we're not using compound, we're not using shoulders, triceps, biceps, all those other muscle groups, okay? Shake it out, back to that squat banded row. Now, again, 8 repetitions, you have 40 seconds. Focus on that form first, either adding on that lightweight band or going to a heavier band, all right? Or you can even go from 1 loop to 2 loops, whichever your door anchor and your resistance is conducive to. Nice neutral spine, gentle pull in. This workout challenges us to make some big changes, challenge our resistance and our mental capacity in our body. So embrace the challenge and know that it's normal to be apprehensive or have kind of 2 feelings on change, 2 seconds. All right, these are normal emotions and feelings. We're going back to that rear banded static lunge, either increasing the weight at the hips or increasing the weight in the hands. All right, I gotta make sure I do my right leg first this time. I gotta keep doing my left. There we go, right leg forward this time. Feet hip width apart, get that balance. And then that nice push up and squeeze. Toes pointed straight ahead, that second toe forward. Really focusing on keeping that knee in line with those toes. What I see most often is a very light shift in on that knee. All right, we tend to shift and sit towards the leg that's forward. We want to try to stay nice and even. Normally I see just a very, very small shift. I don't know that you can see it in that angle, 3 seconds. But we want to feel like we're even between our feet. Whew. Put those dumbbells down. That Physioball chest press. These 40-second rounds are going to go quick, guys. Don't forget to keep count. And don't forget which leg you did. Here we go. Roll out. I know I'm pretty confident on my Physioball, so walk out carefully. Don't roll out the way that I do. Head and shoulders supported. Really focused on control. Now, another way to progress if we're not increasing weight is reducing that tempo that it takes to go down. So give me a good solid 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 1, 2, push up and squeeze. By going really, really slow down, we have a tendency to increase our muscle damage. All right, I know that sounds terrible, but when we increase muscle damage, it means our body has to heal that muscle. When our body heals that muscle, it makes it stronger. It builds it back bigger. All right, bigger, better, stronger. That's what we're shooting for. Both mentally and physically. All right, switching whatever leg was forward. Rear banded static lunge, opposite leg. Here we go. Big push forward and squeeze. Nice control down. And remember, anything that we're not increasing weight on, we can increase the time, that tension, the time under tension. Nice and controlled here, guys. We're strong, we're proud, and we're building a lot of good resilience and confidence. So embrace that burn. You've got 10 seconds left. Yes, you can. Yes, you will. Beautiful work. And I know as we increase those weights, those hands get a little bit more tired too. But luckily we're at our recovery. Grab that small ball if you have one. We're going to go to that quadruped T-dog. If you have one, you can also grab a miniband. This is a great way to progress our quadruped as well. So I'm going to demonstrate that. Knees banded on those hands and knees, neutral spine. We're going to press into that resistance band with that leg that lifts up. Gentle pulling on that belly button. That means we're pulling the belly button up and away from our waistband. This is using gravity to challenge what's called the transverse abdominis. This is our ab muscles that wrap around our belly like a girdle. It supports our spine in our stomach, in our abdomen, right? Where our ribs are not available to support our spine. So this is the muscle that helps us sit up taller, longer, stand up tall without slouching. It holds our abs inside. So if you want to work your abs, this is by far the most important one to do so. Guess what? 30-second breather, get a quick drink. We're going back to that lateral lunge to scaption. One more round at 40 seconds, which means we are fatiguing. We've increased our weights. We've challenged our body a little bit more. 4 seconds till we're ready to go. That means it's really important in this round we focus on our form, on our posture. If we're feeling in this exercise like we're having a lot of pain through the upper back and neck area, in that area where you feel like you carry your stress, if you will, you need to go back down to your normal weight. If you feel like your shoulders are fatiguing and you're now arching your back to lift those dumbbells up, reduce that weight back down. If you're swinging, all right, reduce that weight back down, okay? No poor form here. This is not about breaking form. This is about progressing for your health, all right? But without getting injured and without gaining pain. Squat, band, and row in 5, facing that resistance. Chest up tall. Sitting down into that little bit of a squat. It's like a quarter squat. And then that nice pull and squeeze on that back. Remember, we're not squeezing the shoulder blades together. We're not pulling all the way in so those shoulders rotate forward. We also don't want to be rounded in our back like this, okay? We want to stay tall, be proud. You have 12 seconds left. Let's finish strong. If you feel like you have to swing on this one, or again, if you feel those shoulders squeezing up towards those ears, we reduce that weight. All right, rear banded static lunge. These are the hard ones. Anything with the legs is always going to increase your heart rate a little bit extra because it's big muscles. All right, 4 seconds, come inside that band, out into that resistance. Step 1 foot back, pick up those dumbbells, aiming for 8, keeping count, feet hip width apart, nice and controlled. Big squeeze on those glutes, press into that resistance band, feeling those glute muscles work ideally, not necessarily the back of that leg and that hamstring. Also gonna feel it in those quads, guys. 10 more seconds. We've got this. We are literally getting stronger together as we speak. There you have it. 3 exercises left. On the home stretch to that cool down, Physioball chest press. On those legs, sitting back, keeping those elbows tied to those sides, because it's a lot easier to get those dumbbells into place if you do it this way. All right, you ready? Yes, you are. We're embracing the burn. We're embracing the challenge. We're thinking about all of the good that we're doing for our body, not just in our muscles, deep into our bones. We're building immunity. We're building metabolism. We're working towards our health. Mentally, physically, emotionally, 3 seconds. And if you can make the time to exercise, you can make the time for your goals, you can do anything, right? This is your time for you. All right, last rear banded static lunge. Opposite leg forward. Are you ready to rock it? Yes, you are. Yes, you can. Here we go. Down, big up and squeeze. Purposeful, strong movements with good, healthy, strong form goes a long way. We can increase weight without increasing our risk for injury if we train smarter. All right, 10 seconds to finish our last heavy exercise. And then we've got your recovery and cool down and stretch. There it is. All right, come out of that resistance band. Put those weights away. There you have it. Quadruped T-dog for the finish. If you want to bend those knees, go for it. If we're not progressing there, that's perfectly fine. The goal is neutral spine, gentle pulling on that belly button, not shifting side to side. Increasing our core engagement, helping our spine stay stacked. So if you are a regular at a chiropractor and your back, you have your vertebrae put back into place and they tend to slide out. This is a great exercise to help ensure that your spine stays stacked. Remember, bones move because muscles move them. So challenging our muscles properly helps keep our bones in proper position. 10 seconds before your cool down and stretch. I know the shoulders are burning, those glutes. You might even be out of breath, but this is it. There you have it. Get a quick drink. And then we have the easy part, the cool down and stretch, the finish. Feet wide, toes straight ahead. Step 1 foot slightly forward. Lean into that leg and then squeeze the bum. Tuck those hips under. Feeling that stretch through the inside of that thigh. These muscles tend to pull our knees in, which is one of the patterns I demonstrated on the lunge. So, stretching this out helps reduce that pattern and helps prevent pain in the ankle, the knee, and the hip, the low back. There we go. Go ahead and switch sides. Now, I always try to hold my stretches for 30 to 45 seconds, but if you notice a muscle is tight, especially after a workout where we increased our weights, it's very important to listen to your body, okay? Do stretch out your muscles if they feel tight. Release if those muscles feel sore, either later today or tomorrow. Myofascial release on a foam roll or using the release tools like balls actually reduces delayed onset muscle soreness. So that's that soreness you tend to get 48 hours post-workout. Coming down to that floor for that thigh and hip stretch. Feet hip width apart, toes straight ahead, back foot flexed. We squeeze the bum, tucking those hips under. Can then reach up towards the ceiling. Add a small lean if you want to. Now, only if you feel an increase in stretch. Keep in mind, this kind of pushes the knee into the floor. It's not worth having knee pain over this. So grab a pillow, a mat, a blanket, something to put under that knee if you need to. And if you have a hard time kneeling on the ground, go ahead and use a couch or a chair or bench that has good padding or a pillow on it, and just do it this way. Slight step forward with that opposite leg. All right. The hip flexors and thighs tend to get very tight, very sore, can lead to some knee pain below the knee, above the knee, and in front of those hips. Go ahead and switch sides. Flexing that back knee, squeezing that bum. So feel like you're tucking your hip towards your rib, almost like you're doing a crunch without rolling that chest forward. It's just the bum. Or if you think of a dog tucking their tail under. But this should feel so good. I know it feels really good for me in that. Right in the front of my hip, not necessarily always my thigh. And knowing that you challenged your body, you should be so proud of yourself. Whether you increased weights or not, you got your workout in, you challenged yourself mentally and physically. Toes together, knees wide. We're reaching the arms away, shoulders away from those ears, and we press that chest towards the floor. Big deep breath in through the nose. Expand the belly, expand the ribs. Exhale. Press that chest towards the floor. Now, if you have a hard time with that knee bend here, go ahead and use a higher surface for those arms, or even a table, chair, kitchen island. You can even do this in a squatting position. Most important, you want to feel that stretch along the outside of the armpits, potentially into that low back area. All right, big deep breath in here one more time. Feel that stretch deep within those ribs. Exhale. Great work. We're going to flip over onto our back, and we're going to go legs nice and straight. We're going to bend one knee. We're going to take the opposite hand. It goes across the body, grabs the outside back of that leg. Hips are flat on the floor, knee is bent. We're going to kick our foot like we're kicking over the opposite shoulder. And then we're going to relax that leg back down. Big kick up and over. And then relaxing it back down. My foot stays nice and relaxed. As I kick my leg up, I'm not only going to feel my thigh working, but I'm going to feel a nice big stretch to the outside back of that leg, potentially down into that calf area. This exercise, you should actually feel that hamstring calming down as you kick that leg up, and oh, it feels so good. But we want nice, calm hamstrings that are at a healthy length. So ideally, if we would stop doing the toe touches, especially standing where our feet are in a closed position. But this is the best way to stretch those hamstrings. If you're somebody that tends to have a lot of hamstring soreness or get hamstring cramps, this is a great way to calm those hamstrings down. And generally, if we can calm down our hamstrings, it gets a little bit easier to engage our glutes, which really helps us stabilize our spine, our pelvis, reduces back pain, hip pain, knee pain, lots of benefits there. Beautiful work. Kick those hamstrings out. Feel strong, proud of all of your hard work today. Whether you increased your weight or not, you completed another workout, okay? That's always a positive. You mentally worked through whatever has been holding you back from getting your workout in, or maybe today wasn't the greatest day to do a progressive overload. Sometimes that has to do with sleep, stress, nutrition. Never hesitate to reach out on those things. If you increased your weights today, absolutely awesome work. That's all your hard work building into making that progressive overload productive, getting stronger, again, mentally and physically, helping prevent those plateaus and keep working towards your goals. Doesn't matter either way, I am proud of you, and I hope you found balance and motion. Please never hesitate to reach out to me at kinetic.balance.fit@gmail.com. I always am open to your feedback, thoughts, criticisms, any ways that I can be improving for you. Great work today, and I hope to see you again next time.